I jolted awake to a sound that instantly signaled disaster. A deep, guttural rumble vibrating through the house, followed by a piercing metallic screech. It wasn't thunder, nor an earthquake. It was something far worse. Stumbling out of bed, I nearly tripped over my tangled blanket as I raced to the window. My heart sank. A glaring yellow bulldozer loomed in front of my house, its massive claw poised like a guillotine. In its path lay the splintered remains of the wheelchair ramp I'd painstakingly built for my sister, Emily. For a fleeting moment, I thought it was a nightmare. There was no way this could be real. I'd spent weeks ensuring that ramp was flawless, sturdy, accessible, and fully compliant with property codes. Yet there, orchestrating the chaos like a tyrant reveling in her domain, stood Karen, our HOA president, arms folded, her smirk dripping with malice. "Stop!" I yelled, flinging the door open and sprinting outside in my pajamas. "What the hell are you doing?" Karen didn't flinch. If anything, she seemed delighted. "Good morning. Nice of you to join us. This ramp's an unapproved structure. Per HOA rules, it's coming down." Unapproved structure? My mind reeled. I'd submitted the request months ago, adhering to every absurd regulation, right down to the approved shade of exterior paint. I even had email confirmations. "This is for my sister. She's disabled." My voice trembled with fury as I pointed toward the porch, where Emily now rolled out in her wheelchair, her eyes wide with disbelief. Karen barely spared her a glance. "Rules are rules," she said with a dismissive shrug. "And honestly, it's an eyesore. It clashes with the neighborhood's aesthetic." I stepped closer, fists tightening. "You had no right." "Actually, I do," she cut in, brandishing a clipboard like a weapon. "Page 56 of the HOA bylaws. All exterior modifications require board approval. Since you didn't get it, this ramp's illegal." I glared at her, fury boiling over. "I did get approval." Her smirk widened. "Not according to our records." The bulldozer roared back to life, its claw crashing down again, shattering more wood. Emily flinched as if struck, and my stomach twisted. This wasn't just about the ramp. It was about power control. Karen had terrorized homeowners for years, wielding the HOA like her personal fiefdom. But this was personal. She was proving she could do whatever she pleased, and I was powerless to stop her. I turned to Emily, my heart pounding. She'd endured so much, a car accident, months of rehab, a relentless fight to reclaim her independence. Now, because of this petty despot with a clipboard, she had to watch her lifeline get demolished. I clenched my jaw, took a deep breath, and faced Karen. "You're making a mistake." She laughed, actually laughed. "Oh, I don't think so. Maybe next time you'll follow the rules." I smiled, but it wasn't friendly. It was the kind that unnerved people. "Funny thing about rules," I said, pulling out my phone. "They apply to everyone, including the HOA." She rolled her eyes. "Go ahead, call whoever you want. This decision's final." "I don't need to call just anyone," I replied, dialing. "I'm calling my sister's office. You know, Judge Emily Carter, State Supreme Court." Karen's smirk vanished so fast I thought her face might collapse. Her mouth flapped open and shut like a stranded fish. Wait, what?" I handed the phone to Emily. "You want to take this, or should I?" Ever composed, Emily adjusted her blazer sleeves and took the phone. "Hi. Yes. Can you connect me to my clerk? I need an injunction against an HOA for illegal property destruction and ADA violations." Karen's clipboard trembled in her hands as the color drained from her face. "Now, hold on a minute." Emily raised a finger, silencing her. "No, you hold on," she said, her voice steady but cutting. "You just demolished a legally constructed, ADA-compliant ramp for a disabled person after ignoring documented approval. That's property destruction, federal law violations, and—" "Oh," she smiled thinly. "That forged document you're holding? That's fraud. I hope you've got a good lawyer." Karen stumbled back, looking like someone who'd just realized she'd stepped onto a sinking ship. "I didn't forge anything. This is a misunderstanding." Emily hung up. "We'll let the court decide that." The bulldozer operator, now visibly uneasy, killed the engine and muttered something about not being paid enough for this mess. I crossed my arms, staring at Karen as panic set in. "So, should we discuss how you're fixing this, or wait until the lawsuit hits?" Karen swallowed hard, her authority crumbling like the ramp's debris. The neighborhood watched. Other HOA members watched. For the first time, I saw genuine fear in her eyes. Karen thrived on control. She was used to people caving under her pressure, whether from fear, exhaustion, or sheer reluctance to deal with her. But this time, she'd picked the wrong fight. I saw it in her expression the moment Emily mentioned the lawsuit. The look of someone who'd rigged the game for years, only to realize she'd just bet everything and lost. Most people, upon learning they'd bulldozed a Supreme Court judge's family property, might have tried to backpedal, offer an apology, maybe repairs. Not Karen. She doubled down. Less than a day later, retaliation began. A red envelope stamped with the HOA logo appeared in my mailbox. I knew what it was before opening it. A $500 fine for an unauthorized, unsightly structure, with an additional $50 daily penalty until I removed the ramp's remnants. I exhaled slowly, resisting the urge to hurl something, and snapped a photo for Emily. Her reply was instant. They're digging their own grave. An hour later, another letter arrived, this one alleging a noise ordinance violation. Apparently, the bulldozer's racket was now my fault. I laughed aloud at the absurdity, the sound teetering between amusement and exasperation. That night, Emily and I sat on the porch, combing through every document. Emails, letters, photos. I'd followed every rule. Karen had ignored my request, banking on automatic approval rules she pretended didn't exist. She'd hoped I'd fold like so many others. She'd underestimated us both. This isn't just an HOA spat anymore, Emily said, flipping through papers. It's fraud, property destruction, and harassment. I nodded, jaw tight. And she's too arrogant to stop. The next day, they escalated. I woke to a tow truck hooking up my car in my own driveway. Barefoot, I bolted outside, catching the driver, a weary-looking guy who clearly hated his job, before he could leave. What the hell is this? He handed me a slip. HOA reported this vehicle as abandoned. It's in my driveway. He shrugged. Look, man, I don't make the rules. I just tow the cars. I called Emily, who cut me off before I could finish. They're baiting you, trying to provoke a reaction so they can paint you as a threat. Don't bite. I forced myself to stay calm. Well, they're failing. Good. My team just got the court to issue an injunction. Karen's barred from any further action against you until this is resolved. I grinned for the first time that morning. That'll ruin her day. Word spread fast. By afternoon, neighbors whispered and stared at Karen as she passed. The HOA thrived in shadows, enforcing rules people accepted out of convenience. But now, their tactics were exposed. That evening, I caught Karen pacing her yard, ranting into her phone. They can't do this. No, I didn't break any laws. It was an eyesore. We'll countersue. I chuckled. Countersue on what grounds? That I'd legally build a ramp she didn't like? Then came her dumbest move yet. Desperate to regain control, Karen sent a crew to my house that night to clean up my property. I was in the kitchen when I heard the truck and tools clattering. Outside, 3 men were dismantling the ramp's remains, tossing debris into their truck. I marched forward, phone recording. Who gave you permission to be here? One guy, avoiding eye contact, mumbled, HOA hired us. Said you agreed to this. Did they now? The supervisor crossed his arms. Look, we're just doing our job. Great. Your job now is to leave before the police arrive. They exchanged uneasy glances and fled, leaving a mess behind. Emily, who'd joined me outside, held up her still recording phone. Trespassing and illegal property disposal. I smiled. Karen's running out of moves. By morning, the video hit the neighborhood Facebook page. Comments erupted. This is insane. They can't just destroy property. Isn't this a crime? People were finally waking up. The HOA wasn't untouchable. They had limits, and Karen had crossed them all. The next day, my phone buzzed nonstop. Missed calls, texts, notifications. Groggy, I checked it. My video had gone viral. What started as a neighborhood post had exploded across Twitter, Reddit, TikTok. Comments poured in. HOA destroys disabled woman's ramp because it's ugly. These people belong in jail. Hope she enjoys prison. Who's the Supreme Court judge? Please say she's suing. She was. Emily sat on the porch, laptop open, typing furiously. Congratulations, you've won the internet. Will this help? More than help. It's a national embarrassment for the HOA now. A news alert pinged. Local stations had picked up the viral scandal. Across the street, Karen stood frozen in her driveway, clutching her phone, neighbors whispering and pointing. Someone had taped comment screenshots to a stop sign near her house. She stormed over, eyes blazing. "Take that video down." I sipped my coffee, leaning on the railing. "Which one?" "You know which one," she snapped. "That ridiculous, misleading, defamatory." "It's none of those things," Emily interjected, not looking up. "It's proof of your illegal actions." "Keep talking. I'd love to add intimidation to the lawsuit." Karen's face turned crimson. "Do you know what you've done? You're ruining my reputation." "You bulldozed a handicap ramp," I said dryly. She jabbed a finger at Emily. "You think being a judge lets you destroy lives?" Emily stood, calm but commanding. "No, Karen. The law lets me hold people accountable for breaking it." Karen teetered on the edge of exploding. Then desperation flickered in her eyes. Without another word, she stormed off, her power unraveling. By afternoon, the HOA was in chaos. Board members distanced themselves, claiming ignorance of the bulldozer plan. Resignations rolled in. First the treasurer, Tom, a spineless guy who'd never liked Karen, then the secretary, then others. That evening, Karen returned, voice stiff. "I'll negotiate. I'll approve the ramp, cover rebuilding costs." "And in return?" I asked. "Take the video down. Stop the media. Drop the lawsuit." I sipped my drink, feigning thought. Her face lit with hope. "No." Her eyes widened. "Excuse me. No deal. This isn't about the ramp anymore. It's about you abusing power, lying, forging documents, and targeting people over a vendetta. You don't get to walk away." She hissed. "You think you've won, but I have connections. I can make your life hell." Emily spoke up. "Karen, think carefully about your next words. You're facing a lawsuit, your board's collapsing, the internet hates you. Retaliate, and I'll ensure you face a judge with no escape." "Go ahead, try me." Karen froze, speechless, then stormed off, her stride devoid of confidence. "That was satisfying," I muttered. Emily smirked. "We're just getting started." The next morning, my water was off. No sink, no shower, nothing. An HOA email confirmed it. "Due to outstanding fines, your water service is suspended until compliance." I found 2 HOA lackeys by the main valve, smirking. "No water till those fines are paid," one said. "You know this is illegal, right?" HOA policy. Federal law says you can't cut utilities as retaliation. Their smirks faded. I started recording. "What's your name?" They bolted. An hour later, a city inspector arrived, grumbling about multiple HOA complaints. "They've got no authority for this." He restored my water and filed a report. But Karen wasn't done. That afternoon, an eviction notice hit my door. "Due to repeated violations and unpaid fees, you have 48 hours to vacate." I laughed, snapping a photo for Emily. Across the street, Karen watched, smug. "This is cute," I called. "You think you can evict me from my own house?" "Fight it in court," she sneered, "but you'll be out by then." "Everyone else does, huh?" That stung. She'd bullied others into submission before. Not this time. Emily escalated it. Hours later, a legal order barred the HOA from further action pending investigation. That evening, police knocked on Karen's door. She read the order, fuming. "This is ridiculous. I can enforce HOA rules." "Not illegally," the officer replied. "Come to the station for questioning." Tom, the ex-treasurer, stepped forward. "Karen, maybe we should rethink our policies." She spun on him. "You spineless fool. You were fine until it backfired." "You forged documents," he shot back. Her empire cracked. "You'll regret this," she spat at me. I smiled. "I already don't." The courthouse buzzed. Reporters, officials, neighbors packed in to watch Karen's fall. She sat rigid, her bravado replaced by panic. Emily's case was ironclad. The city probe revealed years of fraud, fund misuse, and retaliation. The judge, a no-nonsense woman, started with the ramp. Karen's lawyer claimed HOA rights. Emily presented my approval and the automatic consent rule. "Did you ignore this request?" the judge asked. Karen faltered. "I might have overlooked it." "Overlooked or ignored?" Emily pressed. Karen stayed silent. The judge moved to utilities tampering, Eviction attempts, forgery. Emily piled on evidence. Emails, footage, Tom's testimony. A recorded call sealed it. Karen bragging about making an example of me. The judge ruled, Miss Karen Mitchell, you're guilty of falsifying documents, harassment, and property destruction. Financial discrepancies will be investigated further. Embezzlement may bring more charges. Karen's lawyer buried his face in his hands. The HOA faced fines. Homeowners could sue. You can't find the HOA. Karen protested. I can, and I will, the judge snapped. Your client gets full compensation. If the HOA can't pay, you will, Miss Mitchell. The room erupted in applause as Karen stormed out. Outside, I grinned at reporters. Let every HOA see this. The next day, the old HOA dissolved. A new, fair association formed. Karen vanished. Rumors said she'd fled or was hiding. Emily and I sat on the rebuilt ramp, coffee in hand. What's next? She asked. Maybe a YouTube channel exposing corrupt HOAs. She laughed. You'd go viral. The neighborhood threw a block party. Laughter, food, freedom. A week later, Karen appeared at my property's edge, disheveled. I made mistakes, she admitted. Which one? I asked dryly. All of it. I had to win, to control. I don't need an apology. Or pity. She nodded and left. The new HOA became voluntary, cooperative. A journalist asked for my final thoughts. I replied, you don't win by controlling people. You win by standing together. And just like that, it was over.